to reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. Welcome to online reading and here live at the Dublin Krishna Temple. We're continuing today from verse 12, the first chapter of second Canto. Mahima Stotra. Sarvashastra Piyusham Sarva Vidaika Satpalam Sarva Siddham Sarva Lokarka Drikpadam. Nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truths. You are the only giver of sight to all of us. Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kalitva Doditaditya Krishna Piratita. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in darkness of Kali, you are the exact image of Sri Krishna. Paramananda Patnaya Prema Laksha Sharayate Sarvandasya Sevyaya Sri Krishna Namastume. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down the flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Sri Krishna himself. Malika Bandha Matsangi Madhuro Matmahadura Malikaratana Nagyan Madananda Namostute. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. Asadu Salutada you, Atim Chochatara, Kana Muncha Kadachimam, Prema Kritkantayos Puram. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 So, Hare Krishna. We are continuing reading today on this Thursday. We're starting yesterday, Canto 2. Which is entitled The Cosmic Manifestation, and today, the first chapter entitled The First Step in God's Realization. And we're hearing, who are we hearing? Parikshit Maharaj just inquired, and now Shukadeva Goswami is replying to a text of what is the value of the prolonged life which is wasted, inexperienced by years in this world? Better a moment of full consciousness, because that gives one a start in searching after his supreme interest. Purport. Srila Shukadeva Goswami instructed Maharaj Parikshit about the importance of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord by every progressive gentleman. In order to encourage the king, again, I had the thing here. It's really funny. In order to encourage the king, who had only 7 remaining days of life, Srila Shukadeva Goswami asserted that there is no use in living hundreds of years without any knowledge of the problems of life. Better to live for a moment with full consciousness of the supreme interest to be fulfilled. The supreme interest of life is eternal, with full knowledge and bliss. Those who are bewildered by the external features of the material world and are engaged in the animal propensities of the eat, drink and be merry type of life are simply wasting their lives by the unseen passing away of valuable years. We should know in perfect consciousness that human life is bestowed upon the conditioned soul to achieve spiritual success, and the easiest possible procedure to attain this end is to chant the holy name of the Lord. In the previous verse, we have discussed this point to a certain extent, and we may further be enlightened on the different types of offenses committed under the feet of the holy name. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu has quoted many passages from authentic scriptures and has ably supported the statements in the matter of offenses at the feet of the holy name. From Vishnu Yamana Tantra, Srila Jiva Goswami has proven that the one can be liberated from the effects of all sins simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Quoting from the Markandeya Purana, Sri Goswamiji says that one should neither blaspheme a devotee of the Lord nor indulge in hearing others who are engaged in belittling a devotee of the Lord. A devotee should try to restrict the vilifier by cutting out his tongue, and being unable to do so, one should commit suicide rather than hear the blaspheming of the devotee of the Lord.
What is vilifier? Restrict the vilifier by cutting his tongue?
That's the one who we just spoke, the one who would be blaspheming the devotees of the Lord. So, in a maybe today's language or maybe simpler language, it would be someone who's offensive, who is criticizing devotee. In other places it's explained, this is the Vedic way of, like, you should be able to in a way verbally destroy the person. It's like you put him to where he is. If you're not able to, you should here there's some of the options there. Maybe they sound strong by cutting out his tongue because it's good for this person. Nowadays you would go to jail and so on, but if you can't do anything, you shouldn't hear what this person has to say because it's offensive. You walk away. You don't hear how they feel to defeat the person. You walk away. Here it says, if you're not able, that you should commit suicide rather than to hear blasphemy. It's like, so better go away. Not to hear it and then say, well, what did I just heard? Because your consciousness is ruined. It's emphasis, or that's actually strong offense, and for those who don't do anything, the one who doesn't doing it. If you hear it and don't do anything, it's also it has consequences. The conclusion is that one should neither hear nor allow vilification of a devotee. So that's the one who is blaspheming, the vilifier. As far as distinguishing the Lord's holy name from the names of the demigods, the revealed scriptures disclose that all extraordinary powerful beings are but parts and parcels of the supreme energetic Lord Krishna. Except for the Lord himself, everyone is subordinate. No one is independent of the Lord. Since no one is more powerful than or equal to the energy of the Supreme Lord, no one's name can be as powerful as that of the Lord. By chanting the Lord's holy name, one can derive all the stipulated energy synchronized from all sources. Therefore, one should not equalize the Supreme Holy Name of the Lord with any other name. Brahma, Shiva, or any other powerful God can never be equal to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. The powerful holy name of the Lord can certainly deliver one from sinful effects, but one who desires to utilize this transcendental potency, or the holy name of the Lord, is one's sinister activities. In one's sinister activities is the most degraded person in the world. Such persons are never excused by the Lord or by any agent of the Lord. One should therefore utilize one's life in glorifying the Lord by all means, without any offense. Such activity of life, even for a moment, is never to be compared to a prolonged life of ignorance, like the lives of the tree and other living entities, who may live for thousands of years without prosecuting spiritual advancement.
That's true. Like trees, they stay for a long time. Years, millions, I don't know.
Some so what's the use? This kind of life. Of course they got their karma. Or the natural evolution of the soul from one species to another. Just as a comparison.
There's no liberation. There's no course.
That was all this verse is about. It's actually one of the famous verses. What is the value of such a long life without any devotion to Krishna? here it says, better a moment of full consciousness, a moment, than all this, just long, many years of ignorance, or millions of years of ignorance. Better have one moment of clarity, full consciousness. Muhurta. Muhurta is a moment. Better. Shreyas, in the matter of supreme interest. Because you have prayas and shreyas. Shreyas are your highest interest, and prayas are the immediate interest, or the interest of the senses.
Yeah, like a prayer,
Not like prayer, but as the Sanskrit word, prayas and shreyas. So you figure either, the spiritualists go for the shreyas, for delayed gratification. It's called sometimes. You don't get gratified by, I like this successes, but I like the spiritual existence. That's delayed gratification. Or supreme interest. Text 13. The saintly king Katwanga, after being informed that the duration of his life would be only a moment more, at once freed himself from all material activities and took shelter of the supreme safety, the personality of Godhead. Purport. A fully responsible man should always be conscious of the prime duty of the present human form of life. The activities to meet the immediate necessities of material life are not everything. One should always be alert in his duty for attainment of the best situation in the next life. Human life is meant for preparing ourselves for that prime duty. Maharaj Katwanga is mentioned herein as a saintly king because even within the responsibility of the state management, he was not at all forgetful of the prime duty of life. Such was the case with other Raja Rishis, saintly kings, like Maharaj Yudhishthira and Maharaj Parikshit. They were all exemplary personalities on account of their being alert in discharging their prime duty. Maharaj Katwanga was invited by the demigods in the higher planets to fight demons. And as a king, he fought the battles to the full satisfaction of the demigods. Demigods, being fully satisfied with him, wanted to give him some benediction from material enjoyment, but Maharaj Katwanga, being very much alert to his prime duty, inquired from the demigods about his remaining duration of life. This means that he was not as anxious to accumulate some material benedictions from demigods as he was to prepare himself for the next life. He was informed by the demigods, however, that his would last only a moment longer. The king has left the heavenly kingdom, which is also full of material enjoyment, the highest standard, and coming down to this earth took ultimate shelter of the old personality of God. He was successful in his great attempt and achieved liberation. This attempt, even for a moment, by the saintly king, was successful because he was always alert to his prime. Parikshit was thus by the great Shukadeva Swami, even though the prime duty by the will of the Lord Maharaj, and thus of spiritual success abundant. Maharaj Parikshit, now your duration of life is limited to 7 days. So during this year, you can perform all those rituals for the best purpose. Purport. Shukadeva Swami, citing the example of Maharaj Katwanga, who prepared himself for the next life in a very short time, encouraged Maharaj Parikshit by saying that since he still had 7 days at his disposal, he could easily take advantage to prepare himself for the next life. Indirectly, the representation of 7 days in the duration of his life. In other words, he has prepared himself for the next life simply by hearing about Maharaj's conditions to be carried out as instructed hereafter. At the last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of death. One must cut off all attachment to the material body, everything pertaining to it, and all desires thereof. Purport. The foolish of gross materialism is that people think of making permanent settlement in this world, although it is a settled fact that one has to give up everything that has been created by valuable human energy. Great statesmen, scientists, philosophers, etc. without any good soul, life of it, and that there is nothing more after death. This poor fund of knowledge, even in the so-called learned circles of the world, is killing the vitality of human energy, and the awful result is being keenly felt. And yet the foolish materialistic men do not care about what is going to happen in the next life. The preliminary instruction in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should know that the identity of the individual living entity is not lost even after the end of this present body, which is nothing but an outward dress only. As one changes an old garment, so the individual living being also changes his body, and this change of body is called death. Death is therefore a process of changing life. A body is a spiritual body, which is obtained by those who will in chapter past, but as far as change of body is concerned, one must prepare now for the next life. For this present temporary life, and thus the foolish leaders make appeals to the body and the bodily relations. The body relations extend not only to this body but also to the family members, wife, children, society, country, and so many other things which end at the end of life. After death, one forgets everything about the present bodily relations. We have a little experience of this at night when we go to sleep. While sleeping, we forget everything about this body and bodily relations, although this forgetfulness is a temporary situation for only a few hours. That is nothing but sleeping for a few months in order to develop another term of bodily engagement, which we are awarded by the law of nature according to our aspiration. Therefore, one has only to change the aspiration during the course of this present body, and for this there is need of training in the current duration of human life. This training can be begun at any stage of life, or even a few seconds before death. But the usual procedure is for one to get the training from very early life, from the stage of brahmacharya, and gradually progress to the grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa orders of life. This institution which gives such training is called varnashrama dharma, or the system of sanatana dharma, the best procedure for making the human life perfect. One is therefore required to give up the attachment to family or social or political life just at the age of 50 years, if not earlier, and the training in the vanaprastha and sannyasa ashram is given for preparation for the next life, after next life. Foolish materialists, in the garb of leaders of the people in general, stick to family affairs without attempting to cut off relations with them, and thus they become victims of nature's law and get gross bodies again, according to their work. Such foolish leaders may have some respect from the people at the end of life, but that does not mean that such leaders will be immune to the natural laws under which everyone is tightly bound by the hands and feet. The best thing is, therefore, that everyone voluntarily give up family relations by transferring attachment from family, society, country, and everything thereof to the devotional service of the Lord. It is stated herein that one should give up all desires of family attachment. One must have a chance for better desires. Otherwise, there is no chance of giving up such morbid desires. Desire is the concomitant factor of the living entity. The living entity is eternal, and therefore his desires, which are natural for a living being, are also eternal. One cannot, therefore, stop desiring, but the subject matter for desires can be changed. So one must develop the desires for returning back home, back to God. And automatically the desire to honor will diminish in proportion to the development of service. A living being and for to the insignificant in the street. All are rendering some sort of service to others. The perfect service attitude is only simply by turning the from matter to spirit, or from Satan to God. He should obey the regular fight. Purport: to prepare oneself, so-called home. As early as possible, after one has passed 50 age. Is based on family concept, the highest standard of understanding. And therefore, after retirement, everyone expects to live a very comfortable life in a well-furnished home, decorated with fine ladies and children, without any desire to get officers and ministers stick to the prize posts until there, and they no desire to get out of plan. But suddenly, cruel death comes without mercy, and so raised the great plan maker against his desire, forcing him to give up the plan. Such a plan maker is thus formed in one of the 8,400,000 species of life he has performed. In the next life, attempts are only awarded lower species of life on account of sinful acts performed during a long duration of sinful life. From the saved from the danger of spoiling the human form of life at the age of 50 is already invented. The dead is already there. Even of life, one should prepare himself. The system of the Sanatana Dharma institution is so made that the follower is trained for the better next life, without any chance that the human life will be spoiled. The holy places all are meant for the residential purposes of retired persons, getting ready for a better next life. Intelligent persons must go there at the end of life, and for that matter, after 50 years of age, to live a life of spiritual regeneration for the sake of being freed from family attachment, which is considered to be the shackle of material life. One is recommended to quit home just to get rid of material attachment, because one who sticks to family life until death cannot get rid of material attachment, and as long as one is materially attached, one cannot understand spiritual feeling. One should not, however, become self-complacent simply by leaving home or by creating another home and a holy place, either lawfully or unlawfully. Many persons leave home and go to such holy places, but due to bad association, again become family men by illicit connection with the opposite sex. The illusory energy of matter is so strong that one is apt to be under such illusion at every stage of life, even after quitting one's happy home. Therefore, it is essential that one practice self-control by celibacy without the least desire for sex indulgence. For a man desiring to improve the condition of his existence, sex indulgence is considered suicidal, or even worse.
It's so, good policies, very, very high policies.
Policies?
Yes.
Yeah. You want like high result.
Yes. High achievement.
Yes, you want high achievement.
Yes.
Yeah, high policies.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Where were we? Therefore, to live apart from family life means to become self-controlled in regard to all sense desires, especially sex desires. The method is that one should have a duly sanctified sitting place made of straw, deerskin, and carpet, and thus sitting on it, one should chant the holy name of the Lord without offense, as prescribed above. The whole process is to drag the mind from material engagements and fix it on the lotus feet of the Lord. This simple process alone will help one advance to the highest stage of spiritual success. 17. After sitting in the above manner, make the mind remember the 3 transcendental letters, A-U-N, Om, and by regulating the breathing process, control the mind so as not to forget the transcendental seed, Bijan. Purport: Omkara, or the Pranava, is the seed of transcendental realization, and it is composed of the 3 transcendental letters A-U-N. By its chanting by the mind, in conjunction with the breathing process, which is a transcendental but mechanical way of getting into trance. As devised by the experience of great mystics, one is able to bring the mind, which is materially absorbed, under control. This is the way of changing the habit of the mind. The mind is not to be killed. Mind or desire cannot be stopped, but to develop a desire to function for spiritual realization, the quality of engagement where the mind has to be changed. The mind is the pivot of the active sense organs, and as such, if the quality of thinking, feeling and reading is changed, naturally the quality of actions by the instrumental senses will also change. Omkara is the seed of all transcendental sound, and it is only the transcendental sound which can bring about the desired change of the mind and the senses. Even a mentally deranged man can be cured by treatment of transcendental sound. In the Bhagavad Gita, the pranava Omkara has been accepted as the direct, literal representation of the absolute, supreme absolute truth. One who is not able to chant directly the holy name of the Lord, as recommended above, can easily chant the pranava. Om. Om. This Omkara is a note of address such as, O my Lord, just as Om Hari means, O my Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As we have explained before, the Lord's holy name is identical with the Lord Himself, so also is Omkara. But persons who are unable to realize the transcendental personal form or name of the Lord on account of their imperfect senses, in other words, the neophytes, are trained to the practice of self-realization by this mechanical process of regulating the breathing function and simultaneously repeating the pranava Omkara within the mind. As we have several times expressed, since the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, etc. of the personality of Godhead are impossible to understand with the present material senses, it is necessary that through the mind, the center of sensual activities, such transcendental realization be set into motion. The devotees directly fix their minds on the person of the absolute truth. But one who is unable to accommodate such personal features of the absolute is disciplined in personality to train the mind to make further progress. So ISKCON is giving another for those who aren't able to do the sitting down and do this Ashtanga yoga process. Is describing again. Same was in the Bhagavad Gita. In the 6th chapter it's described. And Arjuna dismisses it. So that's difficult.
Yes.
It's difficult. We're not in this age which you can practice that. We have easier way and easier and better.
Yeah.
18. Sorry, I didn't use the hope they heard me on that. Say hi to Joy.
Hey, Joy.
It was good, yeah. Now again when I said from here. But today it was fine, just until now. I'll do it again.
Hello everybody. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Enough. Loud enough.
Friend here.
For me, loud enough, but I don't know what on the other side.
A wee bit. Right down.
Just check now.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's more, I think it's...
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we are on chapter 1, Canto 2. Yeah. Text. Process in mind by mechanical of the pranava and pranayama, or fully controlling the breathing air. The ultimate state of this pranayama system is to be fixed in trance, technically called samadhi. But experience has proven that even the samadhi stage also fails to control the materially absorbed mind. For example, the great mystic Vishwamuni, even in the stage of samadhi, became the mind and thus bestowed one in self-realization. Therefore, Shukdev Goswami recommends the next step of a short policy, namely to fix one's mind in the service of the personality of Godhead. Also Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, also recommends this direct process in the Bhagavad Gita 647. Thus, the mind being spiritually cleansed, one should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord by the different devotional activities of hearing, chanting, etc. If performed under proper guidance, that is the surest path of progress, even for the disturbed mind. There you go. No need to sit down. Just engage. Engage the mind, conscious activities, and very well. But it's true. I mean, when you do engage your mind in senses, I mean, you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
As usual. So, text 19. Translation. Thereafter, you should meditate upon the limbs of Vishnu, one after another, without being deviated from the conception of the complete body. Thus the mind becomes free from all sense objects. There should be no other thing to be thought upon, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is the ultimate truth. The mind becomes completely reconciled in Him only. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. Foolish persons, bewildered by the external energy of Vishnu, do not know that the ultimate goal of the progressive search for happiness is to get in touch directly with Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. Vishnu Tattva is an unlimited expansion of different transcendental forms of the personality of Godhead. And the supreme or original form of Vishnu Tattva is Govinda, or Lord Krishna, the supreme cause of all causes. Therefore, thinking of Vishnu, or meditating upon the transcendental form of Vishnu, specifically upon Lord Krishna, is the last word on the subject of meditation. This meditation may be begun from the lotus feet of the Lord. One should not, however, forget or be misled from the complete form of the Lord. Thus one should practice thinking of the different parts of his transcendental body, one after another. Here in this verse, it is definitely assured that the Supreme Lord is not impersonal. He is a person, but his body is different from those of conditioned persons like us. Otherwise, meditation beginning from the pranava or omkar up to the limbs of the personal body of Vishnu would not have been recommended by Shukdev Goswami for the attainment of complete spiritual perfection. The Vishnu forms of worship in great temples of India are not, therefore, arrangements of idol worship, as they are wrongly interpreted to be by a class of men with a poor fund of knowledge. Rather, they are different spiritual centers of meditation on the transcendental limbs of the body of Vishnu. The worshipable deity in the temple of Vishnu is identical with Lord Vishnu by the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Therefore, a neophyte's concentration on meditation upon the limbs of Vishnu in the temple, as contemplated in the revealed scriptures, is an easy opportunity for meditation for persons who are unable to sit down tightly at one place and then concentrate upon pranava, omkara, or the limbs of the body of Vishnu, as recommended herein by Shukdev Goswami, the great authority. The common man can benefit more by meditating on the form of Vishnu in the temple than on the omkara, the spiritual combination of I-U-M, as explained before. There is no difference between omkara and the forms of Vishnu. For persons unacquainted with the science of absolute truth try to create this dissension by differentiating between the forms of Vishnu and that of omkara. Here it is indicated that the Vishnu form is the ultimate goal of meditation, and as such it is better to concentrate upon the forms of Vishnu than on impersonal Omkar. The latter process is also more difficult than the former. One's mind is always agitated by the passionate mode of material nature and bewildered by the ignorant mode of nature. But one can rectify such conceptions by the relation of Vishnu and thus become pacified by cleansing the dirty things created by them. Persons generally conducted by the mode of passion and ignorance cannot be bona fide candidates for being situated in the transcendental stage of God realization. Only persons conducted by the mode of goodness can have the knowledge of the supreme truth. Effects of the mode of passion and ignorance are manifested by too much hankering after wealth and women, and those who are too much after wealth and women can rectify their names only by constant remembrance of Vishnu in his potential impersonal feature. Generally, the impersonalists or monists are influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance. Such impersonalists think of themselves as liberated souls, but they have no knowledge of the transcendental personal feature of the absolute truth. Actually, they are impure in heart, on account of being devoid of knowledge of the personal feature of the absolute. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that after many hundreds of births, the impersonal philosopher surrenders under the personality of Godhead. To acquire such a qualification of God realization in the personal feature, the neophyte impersonalist is given a chance to realize the relation of the Lord in everything by the philosophy of pantheism.
Sorry, what is pantheism? What sort of background? Yeah.
Pantheism.
Is it a Western thing or Eastern or Western thing?
I'm not too sure. I have to look that up.
Yeah.
I think pantheism.
Oh, here it is. Pantheism in its high status. It started to say it later.
I think it's to do with personal form of God rather than an impersonal form. I'm not too sure. I have to look it up to be absolutely sure. But I think it has something to do with the personal form of the Lord. Pantheism, in its higher status, does not permit the student to form an impersonal conception of the absolute truth, but it extends the conception of the absolute truth in the field of the so-called material energy. Everything created by the material energy can be dovetailed with the absolute by an attitude of service, which is the essential part of living energy. The pure devotee of the Lord knows the art of converting everything into its spiritual existence by this service attitude, and only in that devotional way can the theory of pantheism be perfected. Okay, I think it means seeing God in the material world, and then using everything material for the service of the Lord.
Yeah.
I really have to look it up. I'm not sure what the meaning is. 21. O King, by this system of remembrance, and by being fixed in the habit of seeing the all-good personal conception of the Lord, one could very soon attain devotional service to the Lord under his direct shelter. Success of mystic performances is achieved only by the help of the devotional attitude. Pantheism, or the system of feeling the presence of the Almighty everywhere, is a sort of training of the mind to become accustomed to the devotional conception. And it is this devotional attitude of the mystic that makes possible the successful termination of such mystic attempts. One is not, however, elevated to such a successful status without a tinge of mixture in devotional service. The devotional atmosphere created by pantheistic vision develops into devotional service in later days, and that is the only benefit for the impersonalist. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that the impersonal way of self-realization is more troublesome because it reaches the goal in an indirect way, although the impersonalist also becomes obsessed with the personal feature of the Lord after a long time. The fortunate King Parikshit, inquiring further, said, O Brahman, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to be applied, and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. Poor Parikshit. The dirty things in the heart of a conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. A conditioned soul is surrounded by the manifold miseries of material existence, but on account of his gross ignorance, he is unable to remove the troubles due to dirty things in the heart, accumulated during the long prison life in the material world. He is actually meant to serve the will of the Supreme Lord, but on account of the dirty things in the heart, he likes to serve his concocted desires. These desires, instead of giving him any peace of mind, create new problems and thus bind him to the cycle of repeated birth and death. These dirty things of fruitive work and empiric philosophy can be removed only by association with the Supreme Lord. The Lord, being omnipotent, can offer his association by his inconceivable potencies. Those persons who are unable to pin their faith on the personal feature of the Absolute are given a chance to associate with his Virat Rupa, or the cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord. The cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord is a feature of his unlimited potencies. Since the potent and potencies are identical, even the conception of his impersonal cosmic feature helps the conditioned soul to associate with the Lord indirectly and thus gradually rise to the stage of personal contact. Maharaj Parikshit was already directly connected with the personal feature of the Lord Sri Krishna, and as such he had no need to inquire from Shukdev Goswami about where and how to apply the mind in the impersonal Virat Rupa of the Lord. But he inquired after a detailed description of the matter for the benefit of others who were unable to conceive of the transcendental personal feature of the Lord as the form of eternity, knowledge and bliss. The non-devotee class of men cannot think of the personal feature of the Lord. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, the personal form of the Lord, like Ram and Krishna, is completely revolting to them. They have a poor estimation of the potency of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:11, it is explained by the Lord himself that people with a poor fund of knowledge deride the Supreme Personality of the Lord, taking him to be a common man. Such men are ignorant of the inconceivable potency of the Lord. But the inconceivable potency of the Lord, by the inconceivable potency of the Lord, he can move in human society or any other society of living beings, and yet remain the same omnipotent Lord, without deviating in the slightest form from his transcendental position. So, for the benefit of men who are unable to accept the Lord in his personal form, eternal form, Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukdev Goswami how to fix the mind on him in the beginning, and the Goswami replied in detail as follows. Now, text 23. Shukdev Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture, regulate the breathing process by the yogic pranayama, and thus control the mind and senses, and with intelligence apply the mind to the gross potencies of the Lord called the Virat Rupa. Purport of Srila Prabhupada. The materially absorbed mind of the conditioned soul does not allow him to transcend the limit of the bodily conception of self, and thus the yoga system for meditation, controlling the sitting posture and breathing process and fixing the mind upon the Supreme, is prescribed in order to mould the character of the gross materialist. Unless such materialists are able to cleanse the materially absorbed mind, it is impossible for them to concentrate upon thoughts of transcendence. And to do so, one may fix one's mind on the gross material or external feature of the Lord. The different parts of the gigantic form of the Lord are described in the following verses. The materialistic men are very anxious to have some mystic powers as a result of such a controlling process. But the real purpose of yogic regulations is to eradicate the accumulated dirty things like lust, anger, avarice, and all such material contaminations. If the mystic yogi is diverted by the accompanying feats of mystic control, then his mission of minority success is a failure, because the ultimate aim is God realization. He is therefore recommended to fix his gross materialistic mind by a different conception and thus realize the potency of the Lord. As soon as the potencies are understood to be instrumental manifestations of the transcendence, one automatically advances to the next step, and gradually the state of full realization becomes possible for him.
Could I ask you the definition, the meaning of avarice? Because lust, anger, avarice. What is that? Avarice.
Where are you?
These are the three things you mentioned to eradicate. The real purpose of yogic regulation to eradicate the accumulated dirty things like the avarice.
Avarice.
What is avarice?
Well, if I know correctly, then it's like as if you're adverse to something.
Oh, okay.
So,
For example,
to be adverse to something is to be against it,
to make against.
To be against something, so you don't really like it.
Okay.
So, So,
If someone doesn't like.
There's two things. We shouldn't be attached to something,
Yeah.
but we shouldn't be adverse to something either.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
also a type of
Neutral.
attachment.
Yeah.
You should just, you should be neutral there.
Yeah.
In the material world,
Yeah.
specifically. Yeah. Should not be attached to Krishna and devotees.
Yeah. And Sava.
So, well, anything that
Yeah.
comes with Krishna. So, devotees, saying, chanting, these sorts of things. Maybe we can make this the last one. 24. Translation. This gigantic manifestation of the phenomenal material world as a whole in the personal body of the Absolute Truth is the personal body of the Absolute Truth, wherein the universal resulting past, present and future of material time is experienced. Purport of Srila Prabhupada. Anything either material or spiritual is but an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita 13:13, the omnipotent Lord has his transcendental eyes, heads and other bodily parts distributed everywhere. He can see, hear, touch or manifest himself anywhere and everywhere, for he is present everywhere as the super soul of all infinitesimal souls, although he has his particular abode in the absolute world. The relative world is also his phenomenal representation, because it is nothing but an expansion of his transcendental energy. Although he is in his abode, his energy is distributed everywhere, just as the sun is localized as well as expanded everywhere, since the rays of the sun, being non-different from the sun, are accepted as expansions of the sun disk. In the Vishnu Purana 122.52, it is said that as fire expands its rays and heat from one place, similarly, the Supreme Spirit, the personality of Godhead, expands himself by his manifold energy everywhere and anywhere. The phenomenal manifestation of the gigantic universe is only a part of his Virat body. Less intelligent men cannot conceive of the transcendental, all-spiritual form of the Lord. But they are astounded by his different energies, just as the Aborigines are struck with wonder by the manifestation of lightning, a gigantic mountain, or a hugely expanded banyan tree. The Aborigines praise the strength of the tiger and the elephant because of their superior energy and strength. The Asuras cannot recognize the existence of the Lord, although there are vivid descriptions of the Lord in the revealed scriptures. Although the Lord incarnates and exhibits his uncommon strength and energy, and although he is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by learned scholars and saints like Vyasadeva, Narad, Asita and Devala in the past, and by Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, as also by acharyas like Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhva and Lord Sri Chaitanya in the modern age. Not any proof from the revealed scriptures, nor do they recognize the authority you see with their own eyes. Therefore, they can see the gigantic body as Virat, challenge, and since to pay to superior material strength like that of the tiger, elephant, and lightning, they can offer respect to the Virat Rupa. Lord Krishna, by the request of Arjuna, exhibited his Virat Rupa for the Asuras. A pure devotee of the Lord, being unaccustomed to looking into such a mundane, gigantic form of the Lord, requires special vision for their purpose. The Lord therefore favoured Arjuna with special vision for looking into his Virat Rupa, which is described in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. This Virat Rupa of the Lord was especially manifested, not for the benefit of Arjuna, but for that unintelligent class of men who accept is simultaneously a challenge to the atheist and a favour for the Asuras, who can think of the Lord as Virat, and thus gradually cleanse the dirty things from their hearts in order to become qualified to actually see the transcendental form of the Lord in the near future. This is the favour of the all-merciful Lord to the atheists and the gross materialists. Just have their hands. Until tomorrow, Prabhupada ki jai.